Also, I have the pleasure to introduce Danielle Sax, who is an international speaker, author of the book Shifting Out of Chronic Stress, and a conscious self-care expert. Co-host Danielle, thank you for doing this again with me today, and for the many interviews that you have hosted for the Online Stress Summit on International Stress Awareness Day 2018. Danielle, how are you feeling
Tom.
about this day?
I'm excited. I mean, it's been a totally different, let's say a totally different angle of stress that we addressed this year compared to last year, but I'm getting more and more excited about this. I can't wait. I mean, it's been absolutely interesting, preparation, everything, and it's been a pleasure working with you. So let's just do this.
Okay. Now, as with everybody, and we have to ask this question, does high tech cause high stress? But before you answer this, I seem to remember when we started this adventure that you said oh, I don't really feel in touch with this topic. It's not really something that I'm familiar with. So has it changed?
No, I'm going to be honest with you. Indeed, high technology is not my cup of tea. When you know that I'm a physiotherapist from education, I'm used to work with my hands, with my heart, with my soul. I help people, I inspire people. So I'm not that high technology person. At the same time, I've got international clients. I work with Zoom, I work, online. So technology is helping me in living my mission and my purpose. But on the question, does high tech cause high stress? I do think, and I do believe that our technology is evolving so quickly that indeed the fact that we have to adapt and to change. And every time, my husband just said to me, last week, Danielle, you cannot believe we've got another system to learn on our PC. We've got another, CPR system to adapt there. So there's so much, change in that high technology world. It changes so quickly that I do think that the human brain, the human capacity of dealing with change will need to get better, people will need to control their behavior. Like we touch, apparently, I read in a study, in an Australian magazine, there was a study in a university where they say on average, we touch our smartphone 2,500 times a day on average. I mean, Tom, I don't have to tell you, that is huge. So there is certainly high tech is causing more stress because of change, because of quick automation, because of all these things. But at the same time, as I say, it does also help us in many ways. Now, if I may just say one thing, and I've had a discussion with someone not long ago, one of my clients, and she asked me, and she said, how come that even when we have all these medicines, technologies available, therapies available, how come that there have never been so many illnesses, burnouts, divorces, even suicides? So I found that very interesting, and it intrigues me to know if with the evolution of our technology and that automated society and artificial intelligence, if it's going to help us or not. I found that a very, very intriguing question.
Yes, so do I. Definitely, I share your thoughts on how is it going to impact us, and why do we have so many diseases today, while in a way we have an easier life. We never had it so good in many ways, okay, but what I really want to share also with the audience is a bit your story how we started this, and now you become interested into it, and how you are seeing more and more that this does high tech cause high stress topic is something that we should be all concerned about, or at least have a sort of intrigue to investigate further. For me, you're an example of somebody who didn't know anything really, or never even thought about this much, and then started to realize the more and the further we went on, how important this is to stand still with this.
I'm gonna reply on that. It's not that I didn't realize it, but it's something, and maybe some of the audience can recognize it. Maybe we are a little bit scared about it. Maybe there's a bit of anxiety about it. Of at my age, past the 50s, it's becoming more difficult to adapt to change, and so maybe that had something to do with it. But Tom, I'm so glad you are asking me, the question of how I feel about it now, because if there's one thing that I can say for sure now, it's that our work, and I'm going to speak for myself, my work, my message about you are your best investment, about conscious self-care, about owning your life and how to thrive in a world of overdrive is more important than ever. So I'm not scared about it anymore in meaning of what I still have to do in this life, of my future, of being the teacher, the expert, the helper, the guide, you name it. I can't wait to spread the message of how our meaningful, fulfilling lives are more important than ever. The basic principles of authentic living, which I teach, which we both teach a little bit, it's so important for the future. And so that is what is really exciting me, is that I don't have to know everything about the evolution and high technology. I immerse myself more and more in how important it is to transform ourselves, to keep taking care of ourselves on a mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual level. Because otherwise, we are going to stay in survival mode, in stress, and that's not the purpose of life. Let's be honest. It is so important to try in this chaos world, in this overdrive world, to find your place, to own your life, to take responsibility for whatever you want it to be. And so I believe that my work is more important and my message is more important than ever. And my conscious self-care system is having the most amazing results because of that, because people can recognize that it's all first about me, about my thoughts, my feelings, my needs, expressing, looking in the mirror, really facing yourself with your own truth and not the truth of the outside world. It's all that kind of work that I'm more and more passionate about, as you can hear.
Yes. Yes. So I've got a few questions on that, but the first one, okay, which is important, is so you went from being scared, or at least a little bit, to not being scared anymore. Could you define exactly what made the difference, from going from one to another?
I think the difference is that if we, and it's again my message, I have my own mirror in front of me sometimes when I do my work, because being scared means that you are looking at the outside world. You are, trying to fill in all the expectations and demands of society. You are living for the outside world, and I call it living from the outside inward. You are making others, giving them the power of situations or triggers or machinery or technology, giving them the power over you. And it's the opposite. It's living from the inside out and deciding for yourself, what do I want to do with this technology? What do I want it to do for me? And all the rest, you just leave it. It's like, indeed, it's like the smartphone. Let's just take the smartphone. What do you want your smartphone to do with you? I was, this morning, I I know that my smartphone is only for phoning and for WhatsApp little, things with my grandchildren or my children, but and sharing little images. But it's not, and my agenda, and my this, and my that, and it's not because I want to use it as my phone, and that's it. And so it's all that I decide for myself what I want to do with technology, which is a totally different point of view of what I was more in the beginning. Oh, geez, high technology. What does that mean? I need to know everything about technology. No, I'm Danielle. It's my life. I'm going to decide what I want to do with this. And so for me, that is a big shift. It's all about little shifts and awareness. And it's these little shifts that make a difference. And that's what made a difference for me.
Okay, I think that's really valuable, definitely for our audience. Also, to make up their own minds in a way from how to find the triggers in them, to consciously also starting more and more to inform themselves, and also to see from to place technology in their life so they can better navigate the changes ahead. And the second thing I wanted to say to you also, that your field of conscious self-care is indeed, even on an economic level, the future, because the first and the second industrial revolution challenged us on a physical level. Machines could produce more, could lift more, and we overcame that, or we started to use more our intelligence and created service jobs that that in a way created more jobs, and that was in counterbalance to, because machines were taking over certain jobs. Now in the third industrial revolution, it is about how machines become more intelligent. So not only is our body and our intelligence being challenged, how we will overcome that? Well, the logical part is spirit. So it's conscious self-care. How are we going to live through the third and fourth industrial revolution, where machines become far more present into our daily lives, is to do that what machines can't do. And it's all about self-actualization and self-care. And that is so important that, people like you do bring that to the people. From so many people want to know what's their mission, what's their purpose, how can they be better at being themselves, because the technology will give us the chance to do exactly that, is how to become better at being human. And I'm really grateful that you're contributing to that. So
can I say something about the conscious self-care? Because I do think I want to add this onto for the audience, because Tom, let's be honest, I've been doing this work now for quite a lot of years, and self-care, when self-care came up, quite a long time ago, self-care has always been there. But first of all, people thought it was selfish. First of all, they thought, what are they talking about? Self-care, we take care of others in the first place. So first of all, they thought it was selfish, but also people still think that self-care is about eating, sleeping, drinking, and exercising. That's what self-care for most people means. And especially in this world of high technology, artificial intelligence, automation, I just want to scream it that self-care is so much more than that. It's setting boundaries. It's filling your own cup first, indeed. But it is as I said just now, on a mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual level. So, and the conscious it's important to realize that. Why do I call it conscious self-care system? Because the conscious is about, we are so in an unconscious pattern of, through our education, through our upbringing, that's how the mind works. We have that subconscious mind that is doing things that we're not even aware of. So it's time, certainly with technology, evolving like this, it's time to be conscious of how you think, how you feel, what you do. And so the third, I just wanted to add that to the audience, to make them realize how important the conscious self-care complexity of it is, you know, it's more than just eating, drinking, sleeping, and exercising. So, and it's becoming more and more important.
Yes, yes, that, you know, is what I call futurize yourself. Is
Yes.
also part of, you know, designing your life on purpose, and it's about knowing who you are, what you are, and it's, yes, and you have to take your body with you, but it's also about stimulation of the mind and stimulation of your purpose. Definitely, you know, because new skills, for example, also, you know, you, when you lose your job, or, you know, or you need to reskill yourself, it's better that you know yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you are going to do a job that is outside of your potential, of course, stress will come in, you know, and you will get sick. So it's very, you know, this is probably the most important time to do conscious self-care on the body, on the mind, on the spirit. In many ways, there is no choice. You hear it all around. People are looking. People, you know, are really more and more in tune with wanting an answers to some of these fundamental questions that we have. And all of that is thanks to technological development, which is great.
Can I, because I'm just thinking of something, Tom, and it's in my head, and otherwise I'm going to forget, because I've got that age that I forget things. But because you know, you were saying about the future and, you know, living on purpose, I just want to say also that the one of our biggest stresses, and we cannot forget that, because I think with high technology, it's going to even get worse. One of our biggest stresses, and it's illustrated in my book about shifting out of chronic stress, our chronic stress is actually the fear of not being good enough. That's where it starts. We have a lack of self-worth, a lack of self-esteem. We are enough. We are good enough. We, you know, and we need that validation. We are looking for that validation. I think with high technology, that might even get worse, because how, you know, we will need to feel good enough. We will need that self-worth, and start from a place of, I always say, you know, thriving from a place of self-worth and self-care is the best thing you can do. That gives you the biggest chances to thrive. Otherwise, you just survive. If you are trying to, you know, meet up all the expectations and demands of your surroundings by trying to be good enough for them, that in itself is a huge stress. And I think with technology mounting and high technology and more technology around us, that might even get worse, that fear of not being good enough. So we need to really address that. And that's what I do in my work. We need to address that self-worth. I am enough. I am good enough. You know, all that kind of basic foundational principles. And that's why I'm saying my work is going to get more and more important. So I'm really convinced that that kind of work needs to be done, and certainly with our next generation.
You're surely at the right place at the right time for doing that and for offering that to the world. Because indeed, as you say, technology will increase our self-esteem, or the challenges to our self-esteem. Because when a machine, imagine a machine that can think, that is, and can do all the things better than you can, and you lose your job to that machine, or you lose your job to a person that's augmented in some form, how will that feel to you? So this is indeed, you know, the more that one is busy, let's say like that, busy in a positive way with oneself.
Yes.
The more one concentrates on the, you know, on the top of Maslow's pyramid of needs, which is self-actualization, I believe that the level under self-actualization is actually self-esteem. When you concentrate more on developing that self-actualization, that self-esteem will automatically come along with it, because the more that you are yourself, the more you're in your purpose, the more that you live with meaning, the self-esteem is just part of the bonus that you get. And I personally experience it that way. So it's not just theory. For me, it is really, I'm living that every day.
I got sick like that. Hey, Tom, let's not forget, you know, I got really very ill just by having that chronic stress of not feeling good enough. you know, I was a highly sensitive child, always trying to help, please, and save everyone around me. That is a dangerous game. Now, you could, if you project that in the future, one could say that trying to keep up with technology, trying to be good enough in technology, trying to, you know, could be, you know, could be quite a high stress kind of trigger. So I think it is so important that we inspire others to stop. I always say to women, if I talk to women, you know, if I have a workshop or on stage for a women audience, I always say, let's stop to play the superwoman game. You know, we try to be superwoman, to be, you know, to be the master in every possible role, the good daughter, the good wife, the good mother, the good colleague, the good stress summit host, whatever you call it. We are so, you know, striving. And there's nothing more important now than to come back, like you said, to come back to yourself and really think, what is it that I want? I want to be a superb woman, not a superwoman. I don't need to do it for anyone else. I want to do it for myself, because I am. And it's my birthright. That's why I'm born. I am already good enough. So I find that very intriguing and a very interesting link with, you know, with high technology coming.
Okay. Now, Danielle, we have many experts that are waiting for their story to be heard on this day, the Stress Awareness Day. So I would say, do you have one more message that you would like to share with the audience before we kick off with the other experts?
One of my main mantras is, you are your best investment. And I do sincerely hope and trust that people will watch the interviews. You are worth your time, and it is worth your investment to invest in yourself by watching these interviews, by investing in your self-worth, by investing in your self-care. So I'm going to leave it at that, Tom. I think just the sentence, you are your best investment, that's maybe what I want to close by.
I completely agree with that. You are your best investment. Thank you very much, Danielle. And we see each other again at the end of today.
Yes.
to give a little bit of a resume. Anyway,
perfect.
Danielle, enjoy the day, enjoy the interviews. Audience,
see you later, Tom.
Continue watching, and thank you very much for being with us.
Bye-bye.